Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains, we speak.
Hello, everybody. I'm JD Lopez, the host of Left Hand Right Brain. It's a free-flowing, wide-ranging conversation that I have with artists doing interesting and creative things here in Denver and beyond. We talk about their personal stories, break down their creative process, and what motivates them. Spoiler alert, it's mostly spite. We talk about all these things and more while kicking back, cracking wise, and always having a good time. You can find old episodes and everything you need to know at lefthandrightbrainpod.com.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
This is Justin Neal with the Average Joe Geek Show. You're listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
This is Real Nerds Podcast, and I'm Ryan. With me is
Brad
and
Zach.
Did you know that we are officially the unofficial podcast at Denver Pop Culture Con? Lots of stuff is starting to be announced. They announced a Spider-Man artist I'm really excited to see. Mm-hmm. They're slowly trickling in stuff. It's coming up fast.
Yeah.
It's in May.
Speaking of deadlines for panels are like February 28th, I think. So
okay, we'll think of something.
And then I think exclusives is March 28th.
Let me finish my corporal test, and I'm there for you.
All right.
But I was also thinking, so our 400th episode, is it before or after Pop Culture Con?
It's
actually after, right?
No, if I'm right, it's the same week as Pop Culture Con.
But I mean, when we actually record it.
When we record it is before.
Is before? Fuck.
Yeah, because Pop Culture Con is, I think, the last week of May.
Yeah.
And the first week of June.
Yeah, like literally the last day of May and then the first 2 days of June.
Yeah, but the 2 weeks that the bug is available to host the show is like early May. So, like, we'll record it and then we'll sit on it for a few weeks.
Well, I was hoping.
I'm
I'm
going
to still ask some of our celebrity connections. I'm going to have them do like shitty, going, wow, you guys made it to 400. This show sucks, or something totally stupid.
I never thought you'd make it this far because
Yeah.
your show's garbage.
Yeah. So I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity with our normals at Comic-Con, but I'll reach out to like our buddy JT, and I'm sure George's will still do it.
Yeah.
I have his personal phone number. I'd probably call him.
Zach Howard's still here, right?
Yeah, Zach Howard. We can get people. I think we could do like testimonials, and I know this is really great, riveting podcasting, but Corinne had a great idea for our episode. We just start talking about the genesis of it, and I thought it'd be fun if we did kind of a late show kind of podcast where we just invite people up to talk to us and things like that.
You should host it like Conan or something, and then invite each of us out as your guests.
Oh,
like you've never met us before.
Yeah. And we should, I'll write a monologue for the beginning for jokes. We can do it. That'd be fun. See, look at that.
Who would be your Ed McMahon?
We don't need one. You have me. Nothing else is needed.
I think Zach's trying to apply for that job.
We're just going to stand in the corner and be like, "That's right, Ryan."
Hello. Or hi, I'm Andy Richter.
Here's some nice Thai music.
Little Thai music.
Ryan's
I think that'd be fun.
time. Ryan's
Yeah,
time.
like a Tonight Show. Then we could add clips and stuff into it.
Yeah.
Can
Because
we
the
get
origin
some-
story is not that interesting, so we definitely have to spruce it up.
Well, that's what. Well, I mean, it's fun.
We should get
we started hanging out. And we just started talking about movies. End of story.
Well, no, but you got to make it fun.
We should get a wildlife animal expert to bring in some animals, and you get to play with them, just like
I
on
mean, we'll
Carson.
probably sell out the bug, so we got to be ready for that.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying they should all be deadly animals so that there's a risk
That's
involved.
awesome.
And here's our friend Henry with a boa constrictor.
You know what? We should totally bring back like Carmang and see if it even works. Okay, I got and there's nothing but crickets. Hey, Johnny Carson, anybody? Hello?
Overblown, overrated by the audience. The reaction to Glass. Hey-oh.
can't believe you made it this far. You're not all dead. Real Nerds Podcast, episode 400. Yeah, stay tuned for that. So we're just shooting around ideas. Hopefully we can get some people. If you want to send in a testimonial, we'll run it.
Yeah.
And say whatever you want about us. It'll be fun.
We'll have to separate it out from the other mail we get that says that they want me dead. So
oh, fuck. We don't have that much time.
This one would be labeled specially, we hate him.
Yeah. So we'll find a day in the early May, and then we'll announce it.
And then Brad will make a sweet poster.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be free. It'll be free show.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I mean, we're going to charge for this shit.
Yeah.
But while you're there, you can buy snacks and stuff that helps the bug, right?
Yeah.
Or you can make a donation to the bug.
Yeah. So, we're not going to charge for this. I mean, you can listen to it for free.
Yeah.
We have 300 and...
Well, you won't be able to see all the clips and video stuff that'll be in the show.
But yeah, so it'll be lots of fun.
So that's the incentive to see it. And then, of course, we're in person, and then we'll probably have a celebrity guest.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? We'll also sign anything you bring. If you bring your Real Nerds Pod Show Blu-ray that didn't get signed at Comic-Con, I will be happy to sign it. Yeah. Posters.
Hopefully we'll have this year's shirt early. Maybe you could pick it up while you're at the show.
I like that idea.
It's a shame that he's dead, but our celebrity guest would be like, TV's Alan Thicke.
He's dead.
We can figure something out. We have to know people. We know a lot of people.
Wait, we have to?
No, I'm just like, my head's spinning 300
trying to figure out, like, who,
miles an hour.
Who do you get for the 400th? Like, it would have to be...
we can get people.
Should fly in Matty O'Connor.
Should. No, but I'll talk to some agents and stuff that I know. We can probably get some people on.
Men in Black.
Or at least to record something and tell us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the bare minimum.
Yeah. That'd be awesome if we just got a whole, like, clip of, like, famous people saying, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I'm down. Anyways, every week on Real Nerds Podcast, we see a new movie. We podcast our experience of the world. This week we saw Stan and Ollie, which is, we'll say if you see the movie, play the trailer and spoil historical drama. And we'll go from there. We'll also talk about movies we saw throughout the week. In my case, 2 weeks because I've been gone. Movie news and movies that are coming out. Did you guys talk about the Spider-Man trailer last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit,
guys.
but I want your opinion on it.
No, it's amazing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They literally put Mysterio in a globe head.
Yeah, I know.
And it blew my fucking mind.
And it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's one of those things where, as a comic book fan, and Brad can attest this, when you grow up and, when Batman's there, you say, well, you can't have him, Catwoman look like Catwoman from the comics, or the Joker can't look just like the Joker, even though they're pretty close.
I think part of that is that when you hire like a costume designer for a movie, like they want to put their own stamp on it and not just copy the work of the artist,
because then otherwise it feels unoriginal.
Yeah, but there has been a trend of like, okay, well, we're gonna make this more techy and more tactical armor.
Even if you look at Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. But there's been this resurgence lately when people are saying, you know what, maybe comic book stuff isn't so dorky.
Yeah, just like Aquaman did.
Yeah, Aquaman's made $1 billion, and that blows my mind. The movie's fun. I'm not taking away how the movie's fun, but if you told me an Aquaman movie would make $1 billion, I'd call you a liar.
It's on par with Batman now.
But even, the X-Men, remember in the first X-Men where they said, well, you want us to wear black spandex or yellow spandex? And in Dark Phoenix, they're literally wearing yellow and black spandex, have big X's on it.
Right.
And it's just a change in culture where it's accepted unless you're Bill Maher and you're an idiot. But did you read his quote? He's like,
I didn't read it, but I think he's been accused of this before. Being ignorant about comics.
So he talked about Stan Lee dying and how people who read comic books are idiots, and it's not great literature. And then for some reason, he brought it back up and trashed Kevin Smith in the process. But he said, yeah, I can write this. Captain America, glory. Spider-Man, glory. I go, you haven't read a comic book, because if you know that, Captain America and Spider-Man are not in it for glory. But that's neither here or there. He's an idiot. He's just trying to get clicks, and it worked. But anyways, yeah. We also have people call in every once in a while. Actually, Corinne's been pretty consistent with that. Good job, Corinne. This week on Catching the Classics with Corinne, she watched Shaun of the Dead. Here's Corinne.
Hey nerds, Corinne here for part 11 of Catching the Classics, where I review famous and popular movies that I've never seen before. Today, I watched Shaun of the Dead. So overall, wow, this is such a good movie. I was just blown away by the just the writing, like everything in this movie is so tight and everything like connects. There's nothing wasted. Everything kind of comes back into play at some point or another. The performances are great. The gore effects, I mean, I'm not like a big horror buff like Ryan and Zach and those guys, but I mean, I didn't think it was super gory. I'm not really big into like horror movies, so I mean, I think it was more rated R for the language and not so much for the gore. I mean, there are some gory things to it, but not anything more than what would be in like Zombieland, I think would probably be a good comparison. But yeah, I think of anything, the writing in this movie really stood out to me, of just a well written film, very efficient, very direct, and just puts you right into the action. That opening scene is just, it's great. Getting to know all the characters and then later following them along on this crazy ass journey. So I think I'll give Shaun of the Dead 4.5 out of 5 stars, or 4 out of 5 stars if we can't do the half thing. So I don't know what I'm going to watch next time. It's, yeah, I don't know. I have to look at my Netflix queue, but hopefully something good. So hope you all had fun doing whatever movie you're doing this week, and hope to see you all soon. Bye.
I only have one critique of her critique. Is it's 5 out of 5 stars, Corinne? Come on, it's not 4.5. It's 5 out of 5. This movie is brilliant. It's one of my...
She must have made a mistake.
Yeah,
Clearly
it's always
she made a
in
mistake.
my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I don't even know how many times I've seen this movie, but there's lines in it that I just adore. I think the opening scene where he's drunk and hungover walking to the convenience store, and then he comes back when the zombie apocalypse is happening, is one of the most well choreographed shots I've ever seen.
I love that opening shot at the bar when it's just Liz and Sean talking, and they slowly reveal that their friends have been there the entire time. Like, it's just a nice little piece of editing. That movie's genius, man.
You know, I mean, and there's a great piece of editing where he, writes "Win Liz back," and he says get life together, and he sits down and he puts his head down, and it changes immediately to day. And if you watch the special features on the DVD, Blu-ray, whatever you have, how they wrote the movie is on an easel board, and it's pretty amazing. And there's little things. I love when he says, get fucked 4 eyes, and he's not even wearing his glasses at that point. There's little bits in the film that are amazing. And, I mean, his mom's like butter. Fucking love that movie.
That's such, like, even the smallest joke is hilarious in that fucking movie, man.
I love it. So, yeah, Corinne, great choice. I would say, if you need more ideas for movies, Shaun of the Dead is definitely one of the best ones.
Oh, yeah.
Brad, I'd ask what's happening around town, but I don't know if anything is.
Hey, film buddies, follow me around Denver.
I'll give you an update on the Esquire.
Esquire has an update, and Brad didn't even need his moped. He drove up on the sidewalk with his dirt bag, and he said, hey, plumbers, take a hike. I need to watch my movies Friday night, and you're bumming me out because I can't watch The Room and throw spoons at the screen and watch Transvestites from Transylvania. That's Rocky Horror Picture Show reference. If you don't know what I'm talking about,
I know what you're talking about.
It's with Tim Curry, who can't really talk right now because he's in a wheelchair because of
That's
a
really
stroke.
mean.
That's a horrible joke.
How dare you?
So for the live
talk
show,
about Frankie
you have to
Bird
do
like
a
that?
live performance of a song you made up that night.
I'll do my best. Anyways, Brad, you got an update for us? I just petered out there because when I realized I'm making fun of Tim Curry, I shouldn't because I like him, and then I just lost all train of thought.
Ryan,
Well,
stop it.
most likely never hear this, so you're safe.
What if we get a cease and desist from his publicist?
Oh, I'd frame it and put
You
it on my
guys.
wall.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I drove by the Esquire the other night, and the lobby, the floor's all like chewed up, like they jackhammered it. So
they probably did have to go back and fix the pipes then.
Yeah,
jackhammer.
At least they're working on it, and they're not just
the lobby's all fucked up at the Esquire, and Brad's moped can't drive across it.
Just drive through their front doors and just
that's a pretty weak
break all the windows.
You can't do it, Brad.
I'm out.
Do a bunch of wheelies in that tiny lobby.
Mini donuts, man.
Scrape up the countertop, huh?
I guess it'd be a scooter now. Like mopeds are a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on around town.
Hopefully, you only got hopefully by the summer they'll have it up and going.
Yeah. And then, the Cherry Creek's down, and a lot of change in the neighborhood.
Yeah, when I went in to see Stan and Ollie at 3:30, I forget that the Sloan's Lake, they put their art house stuff in the really small theater that only seats like 40 people. And I was busy yesterday, and my wife was busy, and I was running around, and I didn't make it to the Alamo till like 3:20, and there was no seats left. And so I was like, fuck, well, watch something else, and then I'll go see that.
Good for that movie.
This is movie news.
It's real news.
Did you guys check out that Spider-Man trailer? It played before The Kid Who'd Be King. They played the trailer before. It was,
dang.
But they changed at the end where he says, I mean, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite in jokes is because Flash Thompson loves Spider-Man but hates Peter Parker. It's like, oh, what's up, Dickwad? In the before The Kid Who'd Be King, it says, what's up, Dickwad? It was this really weird. I don't know if he says Duckwad.
Or they scrambled it, I guess.
Yeah, they just scrambled it. Or what? Why don't they just have him go, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, it just looked weird, but good for Spider-Man.
All this worry over a silly little word.
Dick.
Yeah. It's newsflash. A lot of people have them.
I'd say about half.
I have so much respect for Spider-Man.
What's up?
Dickwad.
Awesome. So do you guys think that Mysterio is just like using illusions of the elementals, and then he'll be a bad guy?
I think he's trying to cloud us from the fact of that he's the actual Zodiac killer, because Jake Gyllenhaal's involved in this all somehow.
He's honeypotting him.
Yeah.
Nice.
I watched the interview recently.
I find it interesting though that Gyllenhaal's in it, because like there was a point where he was in like discussion to replace Maguire because of the whole back problem thing from the first one.
You show enough money, they'll do anything.
Well,
there's a big thing going around the internet how like hot Gyllenhaal looks as Mysterio, but he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal.
He looked hot before being Mysterio.
I know. He's a good looking dude. I mean, he still looks.
Guys,
it was the cape.
Maybe
Does
it's
that help?
the cape.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the
Chicks
eyeballs
dig the
on his chest. I don't know.
Chicks and dudes, they both dig the cape, man. I'm telling you, capes make you attractive. I should get a cape.
I thought it was a car.
Oh,
Chicks dig the car.
No.
That's a Batman Forever joke. Anybody there?
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich, sir?
Remember how boring Val Kilmer was as Batman? I do.
This is why Superman works alone.
See this book in my dreams.
I am Batman. God. Fun soundtrack, though.
Is there news?
Yes, there is. I'm waiting for Ryan to finish talking about Spider-Man. We got another trailer, though, this week, coming out of Sundance for Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, which is Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy. And
just read a review on that.
Really?
From Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, yeah, because they screened the film at Sundance, yeah. But
they said it was good.
Yeah. It looks interesting. I mean, I still haven't watched the Ted Bundy thing that they put on Netflix, but it's directed by the guy who directed this, which is Joe Berlinger, who did the Paradise Lost films and most recently the
Ted Bundy.
he did one on the Clutter family from the In Cold
he also
Blood
did
Murders.
Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows.
Yep. Oh, and Whitey, the Whitey Bulger documentary that's better than Black Mass. But yeah, he looks great in the film. Like I'm very curious to see this, to say the very least. We got some more images from Hobbs and Shaw, and the masculinity meter on this is off the charts, guys. Like, I don't know how more quote unquote manly you can get than these images of The Rock. Just straight up, like looking like he's about to rip someone's head off with his own teeth. Like, Jesus Christ, man. And then there's like other people like bowing to him. Like, God damn it. I gotta say, I'm excited for this fucking movie. Kevin Smith, who was mentioned earlier in the podcast, his new film Jay and Silent Bob Reboot has been acquired by Saban Films. So cool. That means they're gonna actually roll on this sucker, which I'm interested to see what he does with it.
Also through Universal, which is interesting because they did Mallrats, so maybe this will inspire some Mallrats sequel.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe. Stuff. I mean, he'd already explained he had issues even talking to anybody to get interested in that TV show. So
yeah, they seem interested in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. So
yeah,
might be the foot in the door.
Yeah, maybe they'll compel people to give him some stuff to do. Edgar Wright's going to be making another film, and it's going to be a straight-up psychological thriller, as they're calling it.
He's a hell of a filmmaker.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. He made a wonderful movie called The World's End, and Shaun of the Dead, and Hot
Scott
Fuzz,
Pilgrim versus the World,
and Baby Driver, and all those great films.
A Fistful of Fingers.
Fistful of Fingers, yeah. But the film, it's described as a straight-up psychological horror thriller in the vein of films like Don't Look Now and Repulsion, which... That sounds interesting, because, like...
It's my favorite movie titles ever.
Yeah.
Repulsion.
Repulsion. Well, you wouldn't like the person who directed it.
I know, that's why I've never seen it. Because that repulses me to think of watching a movie by him.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what does the psychological thriller. And apparently it's very London-centric, which is... that'll be fun to actually see him tackle.
You know, if I was thinking, too, if I got one of those movies... like scratch-off game board things that's been going around.
Yeah.
And I got to Rosemary's Baby, I just watched the remake. With Thandie Newton. Would that come out like 2015? I think it was a made-for-TV thing, too.
It must be.
I'd have to, like...
I remember vaguely hearing about this.
Go back into my brain and...
But so anyway, we also got some images from Quentin Tarantino's new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Looks very 60s.
Yeah, and we were all wrong. Al Pacino's just playing an agent. He's not going to play Manson, which sucks. But whatever. I mean,
I don't want to see Al Pacino play Marilyn Manson.
I thought it would have been hilarious.
Charles Manson. No, there's nothing funny about Charles Manson.
There's something funny about Al Pacino playing Charles Manson.
You can't make Charles Manson funny.
But Margot Robbie looks great as Sharon Tate. And I love the image right here of Leo with the fucking rifle for what they call the show the FBI. So it'll be fun. I mean, I'm down for this movie and to see what he does now. Oscar nominations were announced. Black Panther nominated for Best Picture.
I don't understand. Why do you have so much disdain for the Oscars? I don't get it.
No, I hate how important people make them.
You don't like celebrating film?
I do, but like when people treat like their opinions as facts about it, it's just like oh, this movie should have been nominated. Like, should it?
That's your opinion.
That's you don't get to decide unless you're in the Academy, and so it's not up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like everybody's meaning like the biggest gripes that I had heard was that there was no nominations for films directed by women, which does
direct
suck.
better movies.
Well, they've made a lot of great movies this year. That's the issue. Is that
not good enough?
It's not their issue. It's the studio not promoting it because they either don't have the money or
do they have to promote it for people not to know about the movie?
That's because this is all big. It's all a big management game. So
yeah, you don't get nominated on quality. You get nominated because the studio's campaign.
Yeah,
so
I'm well aware. I'm just being an asshole.
I'm just trying to explain it to people listening. Is like they look at all the films they release that year, and they pick the one that they think has the best chance of winning, and then they just bombard people in all departments of the Academy that vote on it.
Buy my book.
Yeah, to try to just so they just screeners and all kinds of perks, and it's not about like, oh, this was the best film.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But if they were smart, they would, if they wanted to keep attracting an audience.
Yeah, that's why they're dumb.
They need to change their model and
exactly.
Nominate movies that people want to watch win.
Here's the thing: is there really a better made movie than Infinity War? I mean, when you think about
it's not quantifiable anyway. No, what's better made?
No, but I mean, when you think about everything that came together, how the movie was made, the actors involved, everybody likes it. To me, that should be in the conversation of one of the best movies. Correct?
Yeah, it's a tremendous achievement.
Yeah,
on all fronts.
I'm just saying.
It's a great. I'm excited that Black Panther.
That's why when something like Green Book wins, everyone's like, "What?"
Well, I mean, I have no doubt, unfortunately, that it's either that or Roma. I'm pushing for Roma.
And
over
I
Green
think
Book,
Roma,
you know?
huh?
Roma's really good. And also, it's Netflix like making a stand of like, hey, something that you can actually watch and not have to go out to the theater, which I get that, but I'd rather you go to the theater. But whatever.
But I guarantee if you read someone a list of winners for the past 20 years, the best ofs, a lot of those movies are movies that people have forgotten about or have fallen by the wayside. So it's just like
I agree.
When people get all upset, like, oh, sorry to bother you, didn't get nominated or whatever. It's like it's probably better off.
Yeah, because it's gonna have like Spielberg.
You'll find cult status.
Spielberg said that in 2011 when he announced the Best Picture for The King's Speech. He's just like the winner will go on the ranks of this, and this, and the loser will go on to the ranks of such films as Citizen Kane or
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan, or something like that. Like he didn't say his own movie, but that would have been hilarious if he did.
Yeah. That's funny. You reminded me of the 2002 Chicago one, which is like a remake. And then
it's
I never hear people really. It's not like in the zeitgeist, but Lord of the Rings: Two Towers is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like there's a whole
Return of the King is probably the one that's still discussed.
Well, that's
the most.
what I mean. Like it is.
If we're talking about
Return of the King
winners.
is a huge crowning achievement in filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No, I'm saying that that's the only one out of the like recent memory. Like the only reason we talk about the Crash one is because we're pissed about it. But
again, it's like none of this is quantifiable. When you're like people, that's what gets me is like people are so upset that
you can't get
the movies they don't like don't get nominated. It's like
you can't get upset because at the end of the day, movies are interpretive art. So which is somebody's golden goose is someone else's gray gander.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and the studios themselves don't even nominate based on merit. It's all about campaigning.
Money. It's money. Like that's why Bohemian Rhapsody's there. It made a lot of money.
That's why they're all there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Bohemian Rhapsody made a lot of money, and just because critics doesn't like it doesn't mean the audiences don't. If you look at the audience score, I think it's like 92%.
I know that's why. Like at first, I was like, I wasn't surprised when I saw it, especially after the Golden Globes. But I'm like, I don't care for Bohemian Rhapsody, but like I love that people are enjoying it and going out to the theaters,
people
paying.
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah, throwing down the ticket money for it. But like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Green Book, but Green Book's not a terrible movie. I understand there's issues with it, but like it's people's decision and whatnot. I mean, like, and Roma's really good. I'm glad to see it getting recognition, but
Spider-Man: Far From Home just be better nominated next year. I'm going to burn that fucking Academy to the ground.
And also, too, overall, I just feel like the list is kind of boring. Like,
I
it's
agree.
kind of the same 5 movies throughout all the categories.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of silly when there's hundreds of movies made a year.
Yep.
But anyway, the reason I actually brought up the nominations, other than the Black Panther nomination, which I think is a huge achievement.
No, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, the movie's amazing. I wish Coogler had gotten nominated for director, but whatever. The other thing though is that so the ceremony's going to have no host, and now they're telling us that there's not going to be
#no host.
Hashtag no host. Ryan, you should host it. You're good at hosting things. I'm
going to go out and do a new rendition of "I Saw Your Boobs" because I think that's the greatest moment in Academy Award history.
Hey Seth, remember this. But the other thing is, so traditionally at the Oscars, you play the songs that are nominated for Best Song. You have people perform them. There's only going to be 2 this year, which is going to be "Shallow" from A Star Is Born and "All the Stars" from Black Panther by Kendrick Lamar. So you won't hear "Where the Lost Things Go" from Mary Poppins or "When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings" by Tim Blake Nelson, which would have been an amazing moment at the Oscars. Anyway, so yeah, we're not going to get normal performances. So this is going to be a different looking Oscars this year. Like, even more different than 30 years ago when they didn't have the host and it was just like Rob Lowe singing the Snow White and shit.
Nice.
So
they have a host. Fucking put Emily Blunt up there and just have her entertain.
Speaking of which,
can she see her dance and sing? She is so amazing. I love that woman.
This is an update. Like literally, as of like an hour ago, she won SAG for Best Supporting Actor for A Quiet Place.
She should. She's awesome.
So, but she wasn't nominated for anything this year, which is shocking. But
it's all right. She's still amazing.
Yep. Oh, I agree.
Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine that? I like trying to imitate. I do a terrible job at it, but I just like the way she says, "Can you imagine that?" in the song.
Yep, she's amazing.
So yeah,
I mentioned how much I love Emily Blunt. I'm pretty sure if I wasn't married to my wife and she wasn't married to John Krasinski, she'd date me.
I'm sure, Ryan. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last piece of news. There's
nobody's more beautiful than my wife. Let me get that straight.
But if there was another one,
I'm just saying if some nanny could take me in a bathtub and scuba diving, I'm down.
So and then the last piece of news: Wonder Woman 3 could be the the end of Patty Jenkins' run with Wonder Woman. So basically, it's going to be like a Dark Knight-esque.
Finally, give it to a male director.
But yeah, it's looking like because she was doing the interview for I Am the Night, that TNT thing, which I want to see. Looks pretty fucking awesome. She's like she's like
a talented filmmaker.
Her quote is, "I have pretty clear plans for Wonder Woman 3, whether I direct it or not. I see how
I'd be surprised if she didn't.
See how her arc should end in my incarnation of Wonder Woman. I have great passion for that. So yeah, it looks like she's committed to it for the most part. So
Wonder Woman showed up on my 2016 top films of the year, because it is.
And that's news.
Nice. We also watch movies throughout the week in a segment I call "We Watch Movies in Cineplexes and at Home," sometimes in 4K and sometimes in streaming. What we've been watching.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Zach?
Not a lot. I've been continuing the Star Trek Next Generation binge. So I'm about halfway through season 2.
Boring.
Not really. It's pretty interesting to watch this show try to get its leggings. Because I mean,
I hope it makes it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope it gets picked up for another season.
I
feel like it's a show that can go for 7 seasons at least.
Exactly 7. And then I think they'll make about 4 movies, and then everybody will get really angry at the last one.
And you could spin it off into 2 other series, I think.
Yeah, I think you could, yeah. And then I think the guy who's playing the captain would really go on to play a mutant at some point. It all seems.
Oh, that guy looks just like Charles Xavier from
no
the X-Men
way
comics.
We should cast him.
He should get the part.
No,
done.
Totally. Also, but yeah. So a bunch of the episodes.
Can I tell you how ripped he is in fucking the?
Yeah,
he
awesome.
is. He's fucking. He's ripped on these early seasons, man. He's a handsome man. But among the episodes I watched though, and I was thinking about how this show doesn't necessarily show its 80s-ness too much. In these first couple seasons, but straight up one of the episodes where a rogue starship pilot gets taken aboard the Enterprise and whatnot, and is being humorous with Data, and Data's trying to learn what humor is. So he goes into the holodeck and gets comedy lessons from Joe Piscopo, and it's fucking weird. And then at one point, Whoopi Goldberg on that show plays Guinan, who's runs the bar. And she goes into the holodeck with Data, so it's Data, Whoopi Goldberg, and Joe Piscopo, and I'm just like, this is late 80s as fuck. So, but there's some good episodes along the way and whatnot. I'm not a big fan of Dr. Pulaski, but she's part of some good episodes, so it kind of sucks, but whatever. I mean, she's all right. She's not Crusher.
She's my favorite character on the episode.
You've never watched this damn show.
I've seen a few of them.
What would you know about... Damn it. What would you know about the late 80s? You weren't there.
I'm just saying.
Some of us lived them.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. I'm sorry, old man. I'm going off of my archaeological digs.
Yeah, get off my lawn.
Yeah. Back in my day, we didn't even have high definition.
High definition?
Back in my day, we watched Star Trek in syndication.
Why did I just sound like Tosh
Jesus,
Johnson?
you sound fucking old.
There's so many ostriches.
There's way too many ostriches. I did a fitness cinema session again. So this time I did Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 because that's what was playing there.
It's a good movie.
Total time 2 hours and 21 minutes, 7.08 miles, 1,289 calories.
Good job, Zach.
Rewatching the movie again. I actually like this part, this part 1 a lot more than I did the first time.
It's dark.
Well, it's not only dark, but it's just beautifully shot, well acted, well staged. I like part 2 for emotional reasons, but part 1's it's really compelling and it's really good. I don't know. The first time I saw it, I was just like, it sucks that they split this up.
James, you're wrong about Harry Potter.
We're not wrong about Fantastic Beasts, but he's wrong about Harry Potter.
This is fun.
But no, and then you forget about how many people they got in it for the last one. Finally, Bill Nighy is allowed to be in a Harry Potter movie, but he gets killed within the first 20-30 minutes. Rhys Ifans does a great job in it, telling the tale of the Elder Wand, and Still, the scene with Dobby is heartbreaking, and it's shot very well when he's dying on the beach, and Harry's like, "Get me something, I need help," and whatnot. Which actually, part 1 has a great like story structure in terms of just being its own thing. Like, it does manage to be its own thing pretty well. Part 2 kind of does, but I think it relies heavily on part 1 too much.
Well, it does. I mean, part 2 is the climax,
right?
So
but the idea would be to make each individual part like stand on their own somehow. Like, Endgame is going to do it fine because there's a beginning, middle, and end in Infinity War and whatnot. Even though there is stuff to pick up later, but like, it's just interesting to see how the 2-parters kind of split this. But yeah, part 2 is playing on Tuesday night, or on Tuesday throughout the day. So I'm probably going to do the next.
So
session
we just like load it on there? How does that work?
It's in a big room. They put it on a big screen, like through a projector. So
it just starts at certain times.
Yeah, it's just like digital files. Like, so it just goes on a loop starting at 5 a.m. when the gym opens until 12 a.m. when the gym closes.
That's cool.
So yeah, I went in there, and then like you have to reset the treadmill because it stops at an hour. So like I'll do squats while I'm waiting for it to reset itself, and then I just go back and keep doing it. So yeah, there's that. I saw the documentary "They Shall Not Grow Old," Peter Jackson's World War I restoration effort.
I heard they're re-releasing it in bigger, more theaters.
Yeah, that was a piece of news, but I was going to save it for this moment. They're expanding it to 500 theaters, so there is a chance to now go see this in the 3D. I didn't get to see it in the 3D. I want to. This film's fucking incredible.
Alamo's bragging that they have it now too, so
that's great. Then I will go to the Alamo for it. If
I don't think they have 3D though. So.
Well, then I will go to them. I'll go to this again and again. Like, this is a great restoration effort. The film, like, we don't get to the footage that they're really touting in the trailer until about 20 minutes in. So for the first hour, though, it's a documentary, so it shows you like through the experience of different soldiers being interviewed for the BBC. They lace in that audio with the footage that they've been restoring, and give you a sense of what it's like to go into war, like when you join the army and at that point and stuff like that in the British Army. And then once they drop you into the battlefield, that's when they get into the restored footage, and it looks amazing. And like, the only thing that I had a problem with when this movie was being talked about, like, and trailers being shown, was like, well, should you be colorizing this and stuff like that? And Peter Jackson's argument about the modern audience and how do you restore this, like, he doesn't like say like, I changed this permanently. He just said like, this is what I'm doing for my film. So like, he still restored the footage in general.
I would also say that it's important to preserve that history.
Right.
So restoring it is everything. It needs to be restored.
Right, but the colorization element, I get.
Yeah, no, even the colorization.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's tricky. It's a tricky area because like we tried to have an issue with this with Ted Turner in the 80s, but like, there I go, talk about the 80s again. I don't know what happened.
But there's
then.
a good way to restore stuff with color, and there's a bad way to do it.
Yeah, I know. No, I agree. And he did this one perfectly because it is historical footage, and one of his arguments was like, well, if you're working in news like newsreels and stuff at the time, or just like battlefront photography, you'd want to have the color film. Like, you would want the most realistic possible for whatever the War Department would use for that image. So, there's a 30-minute thing at the end of it, at least for the NCM thing, where he talks about the process of doing the whole film, and it's pretty incredible. Like, I had never seen an audience, like, and I went to a full audience, like, I'd never seen them so engrossed in a BTS documentary before.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the doc's great. There's one scene that's particularly hard for me to sit through because it's like still photographs with a lot of bullets flying through, and so the sound is enhanced.
And World War I was awful.
Yeah. So like, but it's an incredible film. I recommend you go see it in the theater. I want to see it in the 3D. Yeah.
I think I was reading that Almo's having one 3D showing a day.
Ooh.
So,
yeah.
Ryan, let's go. Let's go watch a World War I documentary.
I'm totally down.
But finally, I got Ryan to see a documentary in the theater.
I see him every once in a while.
You saw Won't You Be My Neighbor, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Someone did a documentary on Sam Raimi. He'd go.
Fucking A.
Sam Raimi and Spider-Man.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
Stan Lee.
Oh, my gosh.
All being interviewed in the same room.
With a Rod Stewart soundtrack.
And at the end, Night of the Living Dead happens.
Sweet.
There you go. But yeah, that's all I watched this week.
Nice. Brad?
I didn't watch a lot. Mostly, Riff Tracks is on Amazon Prime, so I watched a lot of old shitty movies with
Did you get
funny
to the
commentaries.
Ice Cream Bunny yet?
I did. I kind of half watched it. And I think it was like the last one I watched, so I fell asleep during it. And like I said,
You need to watch the second half.
yeah,
Because the Ice Cream Bunny doesn't show up until literally the fucking end of that movie.
yeah. I think I was watching, being like, does this even have like anything that's on the poster at this point? Yeah, it was weird.
Read about it a little bit. It's interesting. The story about it is interesting.
But the interesting part I found binge watching that many of them. Like I think I've watched all the ones that are free on Prime at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you could play a drinking game with Riff Tracks because they kind of go back to the same jokes. Interestingly enough, like
Yeah, they repeat jokes like on MST3K.
yeah, but it's like weird. This like each episode had a Nick Nolte like reference, and each episode had like a Highmark broom reference.
Yeah. They'll dip back into their catalog every so often.
Yeah.
The Nick Nolte one on the Plan 9 one is one of my favorites, where he's just like, "This will soak up in the morning and vomit."
But the best like darkest joke was there's a movie called Future Force starring David Carradine, and he's like this cop in the future, and he's it's the opening of the movie, and he's fighting like these two guys who are like joyriding,
Right.
and then they get into a fight, and then they knock David Carradine on the ground, and then one of the gang members goes, "Are you ready to die today?" And then they voice David Carradine saying like, "Are you kidding? That's what gets me off."
That's terrible.
And then Kevin's like, or Bill's like, "No, Kevin, don't say that." It's terrible. Yeah. David Carradine hung himself in his closet trying to
yeah. No, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
By jacking off.
Yeah. Did I talk about Holmes and Watson last week?
No, you did not.
Okay, yeah, I felt like I watched that like early after the podcast.
Don't worry,
yeah.
It feels like it was ages ago that we had to discuss it.
Yeah, so I finally watched Holmes and Watson. It's not as bad as people made it out to be. It certainly feels like they had an outline of a movie and then they just made it up and shot it. Because like there's parts where they're just eating onions, like they're apples.
The action itself is funny. It's just like, why is it here though?
Yeah. And then there's something else about it. Yeah, it's just kind of silly.
Yeah. It's been in development hell for a while now, so I'm amazed it got made finally.
Yeah, it had a couple of good jokes in it. I forget they were at this point, but yeah, it wasn't like an abomination. And then the next thing I saw was Destroyer with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
And that movie's getting a lot of buzz about her makeup and everything, like looking old and like emaciated.
Gross.
Yeah.
Like she did drugs.
But probably the more amazing part is what they're not talking about is how they make her look younger for the flashback stuff in the movie. Because she looks like Batman Forever, Days of Thunder, like
Let me have the
era.
car. Let me have the car.
They make her look like Chase Meridian young.
Yeah, I mean, she's like 50 right now. So even without the old makeup on for like her older character, she looks younger than her 50s in the flashbacks. It's crazy.
She looked about like 2000s young for Aquaman for those flashback sequences.
Yeah, but she looks even younger than that in this. It's nuts.
Wow.
You have to see it.
I want to see it.
But overall, it's a pretty good movie. It's about she's a cop or a detective, and this event. She used to work, I think, for the FBI or the CIA as an undercover agent. And this one case she was on, went bad and totally destroyed her life. And the cool thing about the movie is that they don't just explain that; it unravels as you go. So you're figuring it out as she's trying to. It's directed by Karen Kusama, who you were talking about The Invitation.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen, but this one has a cool, not a twist, but kind of a surprise at the end, because the movie you think you've been watching is kind of revealed as not by the end. But overall, it's pretty impressive. She's a tour de force, playing an older version of herself and a younger version of herself, and this mystery that unravels, and just all the dark things she has to do in the present to rectify the past. Because a dead body shows up, and that instigates. It's like the calling card of this guy who was in that case from years ago, and so she wants revenge for it, and she like turns off her phone. She doesn't talk to her partner. She doesn't talk to her higher up. She's just like on this like vigilante crusade.
Solo crusade, yeah.
Yeah, like tracking down all these guys associated with him, and like there's a cool bank heist scene in the middle where it's kind of like Heat, where she doesn't wait for backup. She's just like knows the guy's in there and she wants him, so she takes like a AR-15 out of her trunk and just storms the.
Is it only at Landmarks right now?
I think it's only at the Mine right now, but I'm sure it's probably at some AMC somewhere too.
Right on, I want to see it.
I'm always surprised how much the AMC 24 has. Like they even have like weird foreign films that you've never heard of.
No, they get a lot of Bollywood now.
Did you see that Draft House Recommends? Oh, it's like my nightmare. There's like a new draft. It's like a Slut in a Good Way. It's this black and white French film. I'm like, oh man, that's brutal. Didn't see it before you're Stan and Ollie? Okay, just
and Jack Benny's a co-star in it, so then it's even worse.
Yeah, so Destroyer's pretty good. Just check it out.
Sweet.
And that's it for me.
Cool. Ryan, what did you watch?
Oh my gosh. So I'm continuing my journey through Cary Grant's filmography.
I'm glad you are, Ryan.
I watched Only Angels Have Wings, which is a Howard Hawks film about an outpost in South America that Cary Grant's a like hotshot pilot and he runs it. And it's really, really good. It's really well made.
It's Howard Hawks, baby.
Yeah, Howard Hawks is a great filmmaker. Jean Arthur is the co-star in it, and Cary Grant doesn't have time for women until Rita Hayworth, his like ex-lover, shows up, and it's really well done. It's a different kind of role for Cary Grant because there's a little bit of comedy in it, but he's also kind of has a dark side in it where he's trying. His goal is to deliver no matter the cost, mail and stuff. And I mean, this is 1938, 37. So I mean, aviation's brand new. So there's the movie opens with one of his best pilots dying in a crash, and he says, "Well, get back out there, and we needed to do these deliveries." And so he's kind of ruthless that way. I mean, you still like him, but he's because he wants these new planes, so he's trying really hard to meet these deadlines. And there's a little comedy sprinkled in, but it's more of a drama. I don't know if you've seen it, Zach. It's shot really well for a film from the 30s. I
have once, but it's not the Howard Hawks film I watch the most, though. I generally tend to go to have and have not. He had a lot of like it was like a lot of Hawks did a lot of like I don't want to say manly pictures, but like we call John Ford like the tough filmmaker. In terms
I mean,
of,
whether
like,
it's Red River or something. I mean, he's a. I mean, he's a tough guy.
He's a tough as nails filmmaker. Like Rio Bravo is a great example.
Yeah,
of that.
Absolutely.
But like, even like anything he did with Bogart, like definitely fall in that rank. And also Thing from Another World, which even though it's a sci-fi film, tough as nails.
He's a cool filmmaker. And
he is.
You can tell
he was a bastard, but he was a great filmmaker.
Maybe it's 41. I don't know. It's early 40s, late 30s, and I mean it's shot really well. They even, I mean, obviously you can tell they're models, but I mean they're using actual planes flying into the valley and things like that, and
it's the craftsmanship involved in
particular
art form.
I mean it's really good.
Did you watch the Criterion of it?
Yeah,
because that was like a Criterion that I saw during the sale, and I was like, I wonder if Ryan has this one.
I got it a while ago. I don't know. I think I've had it for a while and I haven't watched it.
They've been throwing Cary Grant at that collection like crazy.
Well,
I'm happy about it, but
because I got those collections where it's 5 DVDs.
Right.
And so I'm trying to and I'm almost at the point where I can't get any more of them, and it kind of making me sad. His early stuff is kind of lost.
There's a lot of either pre-code or even post-code, but still, like, they didn't always take care of stuff, or stuff was lost in fires and all that.
So I still have I think I have. Well, I got this one collection. Actually, Barnes & Noble, for some reason, has these really hard-to-find DVDs at the one in Littleton.
Right.
And it's called the Vault Collection, I think it's called, or maybe the Golden Collection. And it's a Universal release, so it's really nice.
It's the Vault series. I have a couple of them on the shelf.
Yeah,
there.
And it has 5 of his films that I've never even heard of, and it's like 1934 and stuff. So
yeah, this is
so early. My guess is he's probably just a co-star in them.
Yeah.
Brings me to my next one, which is Sylvia Scarlett, which stars Katharine Hepburn.
Oh no, here we go again.
and actually, this is another film where he's different in it. He actually plays a crook, and he's not really a good dude in it.
So I haven't seen this one.
So Sylvia Scarlett is Katharine Hepburn and her dad are trying to get out of paying taxes, so she dresses up like a boy and she becomes Sylvester. And
I've heard of this. I've still haven't
so
seen
it's a kind of a play with Cary Grant. Doesn't really buy that she's a boy, but they're also trying to like rob people and things like that. And so what's his name? Like Joe Monkey or something? I'm not even joking. It's like John Malonky, something really weird. But he's also Cockney in it, so he has a Cockney accent. And at the end, he kind of does. He doesn't do what you expect Cary Grant to do, which is, I mean, it's a good movie. It's not one of his best ones, but it's more of because the rest of the movie is just okay. Katharine Hepburn's really good in it. I think Katharine Hepburn, as I've watched, because she's in I think 4 Cary Grant films. You can see why she was a big star. She's a good actress.
Or is Cary Grant in 4 Katharine Hepburn films?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I watched The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer, which is really funny. But you could never make this movie nowadays.
Oh, Jimmy Monkley.
Monkley. Yeah. There we go. In it, he plays an artist who's also kind of a rapscallion, but he has a heart of gold. And at the beginning of the film there's a judge played by, darn it, she's also in the other one I watch. Anyways, so there's a judge and he meets her and she's kind of mean to him. She's like, I don't want to see you back in my court. And he says, well, I have to go do a speak at the school. And so Shirley Temple plays like a senior in high school. And he goes to the school and he's this artist and he's talking about what he does, painting. And it's really funny. The way this is shot, it's you don't see Cary Grant at the school about to give a speech because there's a podium and he stands up and all the girls start cheering because he's so handsome and he doesn't understand. So he's looking behind him and what they're cheering for and he doesn't get it. And so Shirley Temple falls in love with him and so he goes away and Shirley Temple is so in love with him that she sneaks into his apartment. And when he comes home, he's caught red-handed why he invited this young girl to his apartment to pose for a painting. And his punishment is he has to take her out on dates? I don't know.
I sentence you to be my butler.
So their sister, so the judge sister is Shirley Temple. And so Cary Grant has to take her to a basketball game with her one boyfriend there.
Is this like a 20-year-old judge?
No, she's like Cary Grant's age, so like 39, 40.
And she has a 16-year-old sister.
18-year-old sister. And so Cary Grant has to take her out on town. And so he's trying really hard to like pass her off on her boyfriend guy who's a basketball player. And she just can't do it. It's actually really, really funny. It's kind of a screwball comedy where and then they go to like this picnic where they all play these games and Cary Grant keeps on not winning until the very end when Shirley Temple's boyfriend helps him. And of course, you know where it's going to go if you've seen enough of these movies. The judge and him start falling in love.
Yeah.
And I mean, you couldn't make it now because you couldn't get away with him going on dates with the 17-year-old. And I mean, there's nothing creepy. It's just weird, and he knows it's weird, and he doesn't know why he's doing it. Because I guess the judge's theory is that she'll fall out of love with him when she sees who he really is. But when she sees who he really is, she just falls more and more in love with him.
It's Myrna Loy, that's right.
Yeah.
Myrna Loy.
Yeah, and so the best scene is they go to this dinner, and he meets the judge he's trying to have romantic dinner with her, and it all blows up, and they're all talking over each other in classic screwball way. It's really fun.
I need to watch. I'll need to borrow a lot of your Cary Grant ones.
You can borrow.
I love Cary Grant, but he's not like he wasn't my go-to guy, as I've said before. But like some of his ones, like you read about him, and I'm like, you'd never make that today.
Yeah,
it's like a road movie with Bob Hope. I'm just like, they'd never make that today. It sucks, but they'd never make that today. Closest we get is Family Guy.
Right. The last Cary Grant film I watched, not the last thing I watched, is Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House.
Oh, yeah. That I have seen.
It's actually a really cute movie. He stars with, what's her name? You just said it. Anyways.
Myrna Loy, yeah.
Yeah, so they're a married couple, and they live in this really small New York apartment. And if he wants to fix it, it's going to cost him $7,000. But he's not happy there because everyone's in the shower, and he takes a shower, and all the water's cold. It's just really silly humor. And so he decides, he goes out to Connecticut and finds this, what he calls his dream home, and it's a ran down, and everyone tells him, just tear it down and build your own home. And so as he's doing it, he's losing all this money, and at the same time, he's this ad executive where he's trying to think of a catchphrase for Wham. It's a type of ham. So it's really goofy. It's really funny.
Not the George Michael, Andrew Ridgely band.
No, it's not Wake Me Up Before You Go, but it's really well done. I always like Cary Grant when he's a really good dude and he's faced with a challenge,
right?
And he just keeps on getting in more trouble.
So I a couple months ago I talked about George Washington Slept Here, which is the Benny film. They're very similar-ish and whatnot, but Blandings Builds His Dream Home is a direct influence on the film Are We Done Yet? Which is the sequel to Are We There Yet?
I mean, I've never seen Are
so
We
much
Done
so
Yet,
that I
but
believe it's credited in the credits.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's a fun movie.
It is, yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Adorable.
I wasn't on last week's show, but I saw Glass.
Oh, boy.
And that was fucking garbage.
Oh, boy.
The reason I say that is because I
found it in the garbage.
Yeah, no, I think M. Night Shyamalan is his worst enemy, where he tries too hard to be too smart, and in the process he's making, like, he thinks the audience is dumb, where he's trying to say stuff about a superhero genre, which he's just basically contradicting himself constantly. And for a guy who supposedly writes smart stuff, there's a lot of scenes in here where it's telling you what's happening, and here's the thing: is every time I build up like excitement for Shyamalan, he lets me down. In this film, it starts. So Unbreakable is still my favorite Shyamalan film. Split I enjoyed. I talked to Brad. I did what he went and saw him in the theaters, but I actually just watched him. So I watched Unbreakable, which I haven't seen in a long time. And that's still an amazing film. My only critique of Unbreakable is I hate the ending, where it says title card. It says, like, that's stupid.
But I like his last line. They call me Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
And that song.
No,
the music.
Jackson is awesome in it. And then you go to Split, and McAvoy is amazing in Split. His personalities are so unique that it's easy to pick up. Then you get to Glass, and I think it's very interesting at the beginning with the overseer. They call him the overseer, right? Yeah. So, he's going around and he's basically doing Spider-Man crimes. He's doing street level stuff. And I like, his thing with his son that's back in the film. And then, he's looking for the Beast, which I guess takes place 3 weeks after Split. And he finds him, and there's this really cool thing where they're fighting, and then all of a sudden it just ends. Like, how did the cops and this doctor know where they're at?
Because they're part of a cult.
No, hey, whoa, spoilers.
Secret cabal.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
So now that's fine. Okay, I can suspend my disbelief for that. But now I have to spend another hour of Sarah Paulson's character telling me that they're not real when everybody knows that they are.
And I've just been through 2 films that tell me, no, they're fucking real.
And then I have to put up with Sam Jackson just sitting there in comatose. You're just going, and so
he does have that great moment though in the room with where he slashes the guy's throat.
Yeah, but I have to wait 2 hours to get there.
I know, I agree. No, it's bullshit.
And so so David Dunn is sitting there, and this is a point where I'm watching and says, man, Bruce Willis just doesn't look like he cares. Like, he's just there.
I wouldn't if I had that script.
No,
my character is just completely tossed aside in this movie.
He rolls in, he's like, oh, this guy. I mean, what the fuck? And so he's immediately going to believe that he has no, like, super strength, and we know he does. It makes more sense for McAvoy because he has so many personalities, so he doesn't know which one is going. And then you have a light, and he changes personalities like this. Everything about it just irritated me.
That science is like another, like, okay, I can suspend that disbelief. But some brought up, like, if Sarah Paulson really believes that David Dunn doesn't have these powers, why is the water system set up in that room?
Exactly. And two, so the scene where he gets doused in water, like, Bruce Willis didn't even look wet. Did he not want to get wet in the movie? That was driving me crazy because I just revert back to him being a total asshole.
Nah, M. He calls him M. Nah. Not the Bruce does get wet.
Yeah. And
Bruno does not get wet.
So we build up all this thing, and I think a lot of people on the reading articles say people are upset because they don't do the payoff for the big battle, and I don't think that's what the problem is. The problem is you just spent. Now I'm spending 2 hours in a movie where I already know this is real. They're telling me that it's not real, and then they pull a fucking Halloween 6 where everybody has a tattoo on their wrist where they're a bad cabal.
It's your game now, Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, and don't even get me started on Anya Taylor-Joy because whatever the fuck her name is,
Taylor-Joy.
Because so she just endures her friends getting eaten in front of her,
and overcomes the abuse,
and hugs him. I'm like, come on, what is this?
Well, like in Split, she overcomes like that abusive one, and then Glass just like undermines that completely by going like, "Oh, you need a friend."
Did you listen to last week's episode?
Nah, I haven't yet. No,
because I said like I expected her to actually be another superpowered character in the movie, and maybe like compassion is like a more cerebral superpower
and
to
that'd be cool
Shyamalan.
if they expanded on it.
But if they don't like acknowledge that, it just seems like she's there because she's has sympathy for
a
Kevin
murderer.
Wendell. Yeah,
Which there's nothing wrong-ish really with her, like wanting to like have that
no, there's
foster.
totally something wrong with
No,
it.
so hear me out though. For what he's trying to do though, like if you're going to introduce that element to it, okay, like don't have her so eager to go visit her on her own. Like make it like she feels compelled by like Sarah
here's what's
Paulson
stupid
to do
about it. So it's been 3 weeks. In 3 weeks' time, she's gotten a foster family, turned in her uncle, and now has this amazing sympathy for Kevin.
Right?
No,
I get it because I don't
stupid.
I don't believe it either. If you either have more time pass and have Paulson come to her, or just don't have it at all.
yeah. That's why she should have been a superpowered character because that would have made more sense that like
Yeah.
there's something else driving her to do this, and then also like thematically, like David Dunn and Mr. Glass are like polar opposites.
Yeah.
Like the Beast is wrath, she could be compassion or whatever, healing.
Healing.
Yeah, she
And
could have
young
healed
Randall
David
could be young
Dunn.
Randall.
And two, everyone goes out like a bitch.
Oh God.
So the secret cabal with the tattoos like Halloween fucking 6 with shamrocks on it. So
Which is more like Halloween 3. The Silver Shamrock
yeah,
cult.
exactly. So Halloween franchise ripoff. So I don't care about. It's not about the scale of the fight. I'm telling you, one of the best moments ever in a Marvel movie is at the end of Civil War when Baron Zemo is just sitting outside and he's telling him, "I won. I don't care. I don't need. You can kill me if you want." And that's the spectacle isn't what needed. It's you have to earn it. And so David Dunn is super strong. But some dude walks up and puts his head in the water and he fucking drowns in a puddle. Not even like the tank that he got put in.
It seems like a big fuck you to fans of Unbreakable. That's what it seems like.
And here's the thing: is you already knew something was wrong with her, and then they try to play on. So the twist in Unbreakable when Sam Jackson's character says "Take my hand" is shocking.
Yeah.
This one, you're like, who cares? So you're the secret cabal who doesn't like. Why is she trying to keep people not having superpowers? Who cares?
And she knows he's going to die. Like, why is she trying to tell him this?
Yeah.
Like, so he goes to his death knowing that
and
she did
he
that?
dies by someone holding his head down. Come on, dude. It's so annoying. And then, and I hate... So Sam Jackson gets his clothes out of, storage, and he has a Mr. Glass, like, lapel. Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, I know. You didn't have it
No.
19 years ago when you got put away.
I literally just watched that movie.
You know what? In the institution, they may have an arts and crafts room.
Well, if you sedated for so long. Like, also, so they don't explain like how the sedation isn't working on him.
Yeah.
And then also, how does he get out of the rooms without the key cards?
Yeah, and there's only 2 dudes in the whole fucking hospital.
Everything's
that wing, I guess.
Everything's underexplained in that film.
It's stupid.
And like, and also like, and I didn't bring this up last week, but like, so why is Anna Taylor-Joy like hanging out with them? They don't explain like, so it's like,
Or how they all just randomly show up at the end.
or like at the train station specifically in that final shot, I'm just like, did she have a secret meeting with Mr. Glass's mom and young Randall? Like, I don't.
Here's the thing: is I think Shyamalan thinks he's smarter than he is, and it's really and you watch. So Brad, you can attest it. So you watch Unbreakable, and you see a filmmaker total confidence. He knows what he wants to shoot. There is no scene in Split or in Glass that is as moving and as well thought out and planned as the opening shot of Unbreakable, where it's just David Dunn talking in a train. Where it's one continuous shot with the female person.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that in those movies. You can tell the filmmaker either doesn't have money or doesn't have confidence in himself.
Well, he doesn't have
and-
as much as he did for Unbreakable.
Yeah, in the
for this one.
Q&A, 2 things. I didn't mention last week. In the Q&A, his wife is a psychologist. So that's why he's always writing movies. Like, he says all of his movies are about the mind. Okay, so there's that. And then also, Blumhouse, I think Unbreakable's budget was like $80 or $100 million. This was 20. So less opportunities to do cool stuff. And then also, what was the fucking third thing? Shit. I lost my train of thought.
But even if you don't have that much money, how much money does it cost to do a shot like that?
Also, he wrote the script based on the location. So
Which is
because of the budget. Like,
Yeah,
they found
that's
this mental
fine.
hospital, so the whole story's written around the fact that, like, this is all we can do. It's not like he wrote the script and said, like, oh, how are we going to do this? We can't take it out. It was straight up like, well, it's probably all going to take place in the hospital, so I got to write for the hospital.
And that's cool. That's fine, but he doesn't. I mean, how much money does it cost to just move from person to person? I'm not saying he has to do the same shot, but
yeah, and there's
he doesn't have the same creativeness.
because also in Unbreakable, there's like the shot, like the camera's attached to the weights that he's pumping.
Oh yeah,
it goes up and down.
when you said that, I was like, oh man, that is. And there's, I just don't buy it. And again, it's.
But also, like, the DP for Unbreakable is like this famous, like, I think Italian cinematographer, and for Unbreakable or for Glass, he said that he's working with students and new upcoming talents and stuff. So there's just like that.
And that's cool, but.
So the level of talent isn't the same.
Yeah, I think he just insults audiences constantly. So he goes from Sixth Sense, which is a great film, to Unbreakable, which is a great film, and then he's going to do Signs, which is stupid, and then he goes from Signs to The Village, and it's stupid, and then he does
also
Happening. It's
the
stupid.
lady in the
He also
water.
says like Glass is like a love letter to superhero movies. I'm like, I watched this movie and I feel like this is a guy who hates superheroes.
Exactly.
Or either that, or you're badly mocking people who hate superheroes,
or hasn't watched a superhero movie in
Ever.
19 years.
Yeah, he's run out of things. Every time he builds up goodwill with me, he does something like this.
Because when their characters are running around saying like, and this is the part in comics where they do this, it's like,
Oh, my
we just
God.
watched like 20 years of Marvel movies. Like, yeah, you don't have to tell us.
This is the meetup or whatever the hell.
the limited edition.
And
It's
here's-
an origin story.
And Sam Jackson is great in it. With little he has to do, when he's actually in it, he's good.
Yeah, for
McAvoy
what, 30 minutes.
McAvoy is good.
Yeah,
Bruce
McAvoy's
Willis looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Anna Taylor-Joy for the shitty part she's given is good.
She's good.
It's in.
And Sarah Paulson's dialogue is just too stupid for her to be good.
I don't know what Sarah Paulson's. Well, she's got dumb dialogue, but also she's making an acting choice. She's just a smart actress, but I don't know what the choice is. So
Also, you're going to call the movie Glass, and then Sam Jackson shows up in the finale, basically.
Yeah. It almost feels like he was the most expensive actor, and they couldn't get him for as much time.
or busiest, I would say even.
Or busiest,
more.
whatever it is.
Well,
but
money wise, like he was the guy who was always like yelling at Shyamalan on the lot, being like, "When are you gonna make that Unbreakable sequel?" So I can't imagine he didn't want to do it for
and
the
you
money.
know he's not going to do it for money. But I think he painted himself in a corner when he put David Dunn at the end of Split, and he tried to figure him a way out of it, and it didn't work.
Well, he said that part of this was planned, but honestly, I would have rather seen a Split 2 and just remove Jackson and Willis from the equation if you're going to waste them like that.
Yeah.
Because I would have rather seen Anna Taylor-Joy by the end of Split and whatnot, and going into Split 2, like something occurs where she unfortunately has to revisit Kevin, and then that's where you make that whole fucking empathy connection or whatever.
Yep.
But
So whatever. Moving along, I watched The Kid Who Could Be King, which is a little fantasy film. It's really good. It's a cute movie about this little kid who finds a sword, pulls it out, and by doing
Excalibur.
Excalibur.
Not just any sword.
Yeah. Well, is it Excalibur? I don't know. I have to watch the movie.
Oh.
The
trailer told me that it was.
to those in need. Oh wait, that's the sword of Gryffindor.
So he pulls out Excalibur in a stone that was built around like an apartment complex that was torn down, and by doing so, he actually unleashed Morgana, who's coming back up.
Do they explain why the construction workers were like, this might be the Arthurian sword. Should we just build some walls around it?
No, it's no. It's fun. It's a cute movie.
It's probably a toy.
Kellen loved it. It's definitely one of those kid movies that is not quite mature enough to be scary, but it's mature enough where it's not stupid. The kids are really great in it. Andy Serkis's kid is the lead in it, and he has a great line with his mom towards the end. A great little moment. So it's just kids who find Excalibur, and Merlin shows up, who is a young kid but is really actually Patrick Stewart. And he also is an owl. They play on the Arthurian legend a lot. It's really fun. It's one of those movies where you just watch and, this is a fun movie. I mean, it's not going to change your life, but it moves by really fast. I think it's 2 hours, but it's an adventure movie. If you miss kid adventure movies, I recommend it.
I want to see it. I want to see it. If we hadn't have picked on the film or picked the film that we were going to do this week, I would have been more than happy to see it. But.
Yeah, it's good. And the last thing I watched is I saw Vice, which it's a fun movie, but the difference between Vice and The Big Short is I like the characters in The Big Short, and this one you just get mad at them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that hate in Vice.
And so when you watch a movie where Dick Cheney is the main character, and hey, Christian Bale is phenomenal in this movie, but I mean he's a piece of shit. So you're sorry, Dick Cheney. You're watching it and you go, "Oh, yep, that happened."
I felt like the storytelling was like really messy compared to The Big Short. Like,
yeah,
it tries too hard to be clever.
It tries. It feels like it's a sequel to The Big Short, where they have the same. Because I mean, I think the scene where they're in the diner and they're explaining what they're going to do and how they're going to get around constitutional law is really funny. How they're ordering food, they go, "Oh, let's not call it torture. Let's call it enhanced interrogation."
The Alfred Molina part.
We'll take all of it. Like I like that part, and I like the part where he says that Donald Rumsfeld could say anything and it would work. He's like, "I almost go out there," Dick Cheney. It's like, and we'll just show our dicks and be puppets because he's not really saying that, but they're just proving a point. I think that stuff's really funny. Mm-hmm. But again, you're dealing with. I guess if I wasn't really affected by the financial crisis or the housing market. But the characters in it were a little more fun. In this one, you're just like, oh, these are really bad dudes. Except like George Bush. It's just
clueless.
It's just clueless. And, you watch this and you go, oh, Sam Rockwell was nominated for Academy Award. I'm not sure what he did to earn it. Not that he's not good in it, but it's just he's there.
He's not in it enough to, I think, justify the nomination. I think
Christian Bale is for sure.
Well, yeah, him and Adams. Adams is great in it, too.
Yeah. The movie's good. I mean, his cadence and his tone with Cheney is spot on. Mm-hmm. It's really creepy.
It's scary how good he is in it.
So it's a good movie, but it's not a great movie.
Were you surprised like 15 minutes in when they finally like do the title card?
Yeah, you're like, oh,
I thought we were past this already.
Yep, because because they take a lot of time to build that up, and it's. Because you're right, it's kind of messy because it starts with him being drunk and getting in a fight. Then it shows 9/11, and then it shows him like at the White House, and then it goes back to him getting pulled over and stopped for drunk driving, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to
like getting in with Rumsfeld early on his career.
Yeah, talking to Rumsfeld, and then because then he does an intern with Rumsfeld, and then it cuts to the 70s style title cards, and you're like, oh, okay, and then it goes back to him being drunk. It is really all over the place.
It's an interesting editing style, and I don't know if it works in the way it did in The Big Short.
It seems like it's a movie I need to watch again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to run out and buy it or anything, but it's good enough where it warrants more than one viewing.
Yeah, by the end, I was kind of lost on like what his plan was. Like what I mean, obviously, the results are real, but I wasn't quite. I wasn't connecting the dots. It was going by too fast. I was like, oh.
It's one of those movies.
Looks like they're just being shitty, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, and then the tag scene was pretty great. That's after the credits. That's the guy who says, "And the liberal media."
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for Furious 9 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So it's a good movie. I
like the scene before that with the credits, like when he's addressing the camera. Like that last scene. Like I think that is a brilliantly like dark comedy moment, like where he's delivering that like that.
I need to watch again because it feels like it's a little too on the nose, but again the performance is really good and I want to see it. I have to see it again. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed The Kid Who Would Be King more or Could Be King, just because it's more fun. This one it's a good movie, but again you're watching it. Wow, these guys are shitty. You can't really get behind. You don't have anybody to root for.
Yeah.
And it's. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like I came away liking George Bush more. Except the like superimposed like Sam Rockwell head on the Mission Accomplished like footage looked really bad, but whatever. It's fun. Mm-hmm. I'll watch it again. Mm-hmm. Blu-rays come out as well.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Probably head down to your local Amazon to get them.
Jeff Bezos sits at the counter and goes, "How can I take your order today?"
Remember, half this goes to my wife.
Remember,
that's news.
I was returning that coffee maker at Best Buy yesterday, and the lady doing the returns was like, we were talking about something, and then she interjected with like, By the way, thank you for like still shopping in the store. And I was like, thank you for still being a store I can shop in.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to order everything off of Amazon.
Yep.
Right. The bigger releases this week, Hunter Killer, the Gerard Butler, Gary Oldman film is getting a 4K Blu-ray and Steelbook release, weirdly.
No Steelbook for First Man, but Steelbook for Hunter Killer.
I just call it Hunter Killer, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. And then also Nutcracker in the Four Realms, which is coming out on 4K Blu-ray and Steelbook inexplicably. Nice. And then Reign of the Superman, the new animated DC
I like the
film.
Batman animated films. I can't really get into the other ones.
And
like
then,
New Frontier Justice League is all right.
Also on Blu-ray is Suspiria, the remake from Luca Guadagnino, which Ryan saw. If you
2.5 hours.
If you're interested in seeing it, you can pick it up only on Blu-ray. There will be no 4K because Amazon wants to have the 4K version all to itself.
Well, because also, I mean, the 4K could even tell more that Tilda Swinton's the dude in it.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Her manners, it doesn't work when you watch it.
All That Jazz and In the Heat of the Night are getting Criterion releases on Blu-ray. Ooh, yeah, Sidney Poitier. Oh, yeah.
They call me Mr. Tubbs.
Tibbs. Mr. Tubbs. Yes, I forgot Sidney Poitier sells bathtubs.
That's right.
in that movie.
God.
That's right.
Remember that famous quote of bathtubs and salt?
But yeah, and then Shout Select is putting out Suburbia, so you can pick that up.
Nope.
Boy Erased is coming to Blu-ray.
Ooh, I do want to see that one. That's James's favorite, right?
Yeah, it's on his top 10 list that year.
Number 2.
You can see Glenn Close's Oscar-nominated performance in The Wife in the movie The Wife.
102 Dalmatians.
That'd be amazing if it was just a retroactive win.
Hey,
for
show
that.
some respect. She was the vice president in Air Force One.
That's right. That was a great little thing before Vice that they were showing. They had Who's Number 2, and they had you had to pick the vice president,
like a draft house pre-roll thing.
It's like the president, the vice president, what movie they're in. And I had these really annoying people next to me, and they go, "I don't know what movie is that?" I'm like, "Get off my plane." I want to say get out of my movie theater, but they're also nodding along through Vice when every time Dick Cheney did something stupid, they're going, "Yep," like I told you so. I told you so from fucking 12 years ago.
It's like, yeah. I mean, he was a shitty person. I totally get it. Now be quiet and watch this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then there's a re-release of Willow, and that's it. That's all for Blu-rays that I see.
Nice. This week on Real Nerds Podcast, we saw Stan and Ollie. Brad, you people see Stan and Ollie?
No.
What?
Just kidding.
Fine.
Definitely going to see it. It's delightful, and everything about it's great. Yeah.
Yep. Zach?
Oh, this is unfair. There was no Jack Benny cameo in it, so it automatically gets a 0 for me. No, this movie's fucking amazing. In the simplest way possible. It shouldn't be as brilliant as I think as I believe it is, but it managed to come out very perfect for me. So I would definitely go see it.
I fucking love this movie, more so because Jack Benny's not in it. But no,
shots fired.
No, I adored this movie.
Zach, put down the knife.
No, he has to learn.
Shut the fuck up, Zach, while I talk about this movie. As I'm watching it, I'll talk about it a little more after we play the trailer, but there's moments in this movie that brought tears to my eye, and not so much the sad stuff, but I'll talk about how Zach touched on a little bit how brilliant this movie kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this movie. And here's a trailer for Stan and Ollie.
Roll sound. Roll camera. Ready, boys?
Quiet, please.
We're at West Scene 12, take 1.
How do you feel about the size of the audiences?
I've been a little disappointed.
And they said, could you persuade Stan and Ollie to do some publicity in order to turn the tour around?
Will there be any more money?
They said no.
Well, who is they?
People. The worst kind.
Here we are. The Eiffel Tower.
How is Oliver? He pulling weight?
How's your knee? It hurts.
Has he been pushing you a little too hard, babe?
No.
You could have long time ago said goodbye, Oliver.
That's all in the past. You're not still carrying that around, are you?
Because I went ahead and did a picture with someone else 16 years ago.
You and Harry are just going to be great together.
Couldn't sleep for days when they told me what you did.
And I couldn't sleep when I did it.
You betrayed me. Betrayed our friendship. I loved us.
You loved Laurel and Hardy. But you never loved me. The doctors told me I can't continue with the tour. My heart won't take it.
He asked me, since you were sick, if I wouldn't mind carrying on the show with somebody else.
May I introduce to you Mr. Nobby Cook?
You're not leaving, are you, Stan? The show must go on. That was pure magic. It's brilliant. We'd like to finish now with a little dance.
You sure?
I can do it. I'll miss us when we're gone. So will you.
What time is it now? Hold this.
Do we really need that trunk?
To be clear, you didn't cry because of the stuff on screen. It says somebody brought a lot of onions into the theater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's me in the finale. Don't cry. Keep it together. Don't let these old people know you have feelings.
Can't show boomers' emotions.
So this is this film.
It would probably help to describe the story of it too, because it is a.
So it's based on a book called Stan and Ollie, the British tour, I think.
The UK tour. Yeah.
And it deals with the end of their career where they're doing this live stage show trying to raise money for Robin Hood.
One last hurrah.
Yeah. But it also does a really brilliant job of. I think the opening moments of this film is amazing, where it's one shot of them walking from each stage to stage.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of. They're in a contract dispute. Well, one of them is Stan Laurel's in a contract dispute with the producer.
With Hal Roach, who's played well by Danny Houston,
in a very small role, but very effective. And like Hal Roach is a dick, so was.
Yeah.
So
Trevor remembers a dick.
For what people maybe nowadays don't know, and if someone who like me who loves and Zach who loves old timey movies is, they were all under contract. I mean, Cary Grant made so many movies early in his career. I mean, he was making like 4 or 5 movies a year.
Yeah,
because he has to make them because he's under contract.
And the issue with contract is like if you try to break it, at the time, very few people were able to break their contract successfully.
You.
Yeah, and the only it wasn't until Olivia de Havilland's big thing with the Warners that anyway, it's a big thing. But the bottom line is, it's like you break your contract, you're fucked.
And they didn't really have deals where you could like studio hop.
Exactly.
With the contracts, you had to stick with that. Like you were Warner Brothers' guy,
exactly,
until that contract ended.
You had to wait till the contract ended.
It's indentured servitude essentially because the studio tells you where you go.
And so the start of the movie is there's a really funny bit. It's like I don't get a funny Western, and it's funny. There's this really great scene very early after they do this cool like tracking shot of them going from stage to stage, saying hi to people. Ollie talking about his marriages and how he doesn't have money. And they get to it and they're talking about their contracts where Stan's contract is up and he says, why don't you just re-sign? There's no, we need to be together. And then Hal Roach approaches and it's like berating him before, they have to do this take. And then they cut immediately and they're able to turn on the charm and, flash forward to 16 years. They haven't been together. They're going on this tour. And, what I really loved about this film, and I'm sure Zach and Brad, you might have caught it too, is they actually have little.
It's like their stage bits
woven
into their real life.
They roll into like when they're going up the stairs with the trunk.
The music,
and it's like, what time is it? It goes all the way down.
It's like that fucking music box, man. Like that's which is like I didn't say it in what we've been watching, but I did rewatch a lot of their shorts, like Sons of the Desert and Music Box and stuff like that. These things still fucking work. In terms of comedy, and like watching that bit, I love the line right after that, which is like, "Do we really need that trunk?"
And it's their real life, and there's no people watching, but they still put in these Stan and Ollie bits as you're watching the movie.
Yeah. The other one where Stan's at like the secretary's desk and he's waiting to talk to the movie producer, and he does the hat gag.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the hat gag.
And I almost lost it when after Ollie has the heart attack.
Oh yeah.
And he comes to see him and he brings the bag and it's set up like the broken foot gag.
Oh yeah.
But it's really just them talking.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's there's something to it, like, because, like, I mean, for historical sake, not everything's perfect in this, but it doesn't have to be, because it gets the tone of it specifically right. Like, I think with this subject, it's very hard to be accurate, because otherwise you can lose interest in it as an audience goer. So what they did with this that I thought was brilliant was they played up the fact that, you know, Laurel and Hardy, unlike a lot of other comic teams, and maybe like a few to a degree, like, they're just paired together by a studio guy. Like, Laurel and Hardy were literally just paired together out of nowhere, and then it blew up. And it was all Hal Roach doing it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like, didn't they did a couple shorts before they were Laurel and Hardy, and then they met again a few years later.
They kind of, like, they were both in one for something, then they go off and do something. Because, like, Stan Laurel was part of the same touring company that Chaplin was part of, and Chaplin was the big get on that. Like,
because Stan is a big vaudeville guy.
Yeah, big vaudeville guy. I mean, so was Hardy, but, like, the Hardy went more toward film, like, early on.
Yeah, you know, as you watch the movie, you know, there's little parts. I don't know if I'm just a wuss now, but, you know, I really liked Stan's wife in it. She was really funny.
Yeah, the wives were both were
really good. Yeah, wives were great. But, you know, the scene where after Ollie has the heart attack and he's out there, he's going to do the show, and they're cutting back between him looking at Nobby and Stan, and you know his heart's not in it. They couldn't do it without it.
Yeah.
And then he goes back and does the bit without being the bit with the eggs, and Ollie realizes he needs to do this too. Like, he can't go on not doing one last show. And then there's that great moment where the wives hold their hand because they're worried about the door bit. Whereas he's going to hold up, and the door bit was brilliant. I mean, my whole theater was laughing so loudly when they're going passing each other, and I was too. I mean, it was
and I like
wonderful.
how they keep it mainly to that one shot. Like, they'll go in too close a little bit, because then you don't see the timing of it until the very end of the movie when they do the gag again, and they show it from a different angle, and it's pretty fucking genius.
Yeah. And then Stan has to improvise because Ollie can't breathe, so they have to change the bit on the fly.
Yeah. And there's a shot in this film that when I first got out of the movie, I didn't know if I liked it or not. But after thinking about it today, I was like, oh, wow, this is actually a pretty brilliant shot. So there's a moment when they're in London and he's finding out that he lost a horse race bet. He's walking around the corner and he sees a poster for an Abbott and Costello movie. And at first I didn't like that because I was just like, well, this is 1953. Like, Abbott and Costello are almost out the door too. But then I realized that's actually pretty fucking brilliant because it's a signifier of, like, how all these, like, teams are going out the door.
I read into it that his, I mean, I could be wrong.
And also that he just wants to be, like, doing this young and spry again.
But, you know, Stan, he's writing a Robin Hood feature, and he goes up and he sees that Abbott and Costello are going to Mars, and I think he feels
that's right, it's Stan,
that he's old news. Even though, the Abbott and Costello were almost done too, he feels like maybe his ideas aren't zany enough.
Yeah,
you know, them doing Robin Hood, it's everybody knows Robin Hood, but Abbott and Costello are going to Mars.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very great observation. Like, but like just looking at it, of just like the irony for me, and I guess you too, because like you understand this as well as I do, is like this is a turning point in cultural history worldwide, where like the old humor is going to die and die hard with a vengeance, and the seeing that poster is kind of like the sad reminder of like this is all going away. Like, but like one of the best parts of this movie and why I think like I will never not like stop watching it. They decide to do the tour. They decide to continue the tour, go to Ireland and finish the tour. This is near the end of the film. They're on a boat and they're discussing how Stan reveals to Hardy that he did not. The film was canceled weeks ago into the tour, and he's like, "I knew," And he's like, "Oh, why did you let me keep writing material for it?" And he's just like, "Well, what else were we gonna do?" And I fucking lost my shit and started crying in that theater. Like that's the whole fucking point of why that humor is so brilliant, is because they kept working. They didn't fucking stop. A title card makes me cry in this film. At the very end, they say, like, even after Hardy's death, Stan was still writing material for them. Yeah. Like that's the most romantic, beautiful friendship thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Like I didn't know a lot about Laurel and Hardy even going into the film. Like I had seen the films, like I'd seen your basics, like Sons of the Desert, and like heard the Cuckoo Dance and stuff like that. But I did not know much about their life because it's not the comedians that I'm necessarily into. But like it's representative of that whole concept.
Well, you know, their music is so iconic that you forget that it's theirs. That dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Exactly, because it's represented an entire generation of silent film or old timey comedy. I'm sorry, but also when they're doing their final dance on stage, the camera movement is very interesting because it's not necessarily focusing on them, the performers. It also cuts away to their shadows a lot, and I think that's really bold to do in this movie because it's almost like you don't need to do it. You don't need to have that flair. Like, you're already entertaining enough with the two guys in there, but they make a concerted effort to make the camera work in this film just as dynamic as the performers they're photographing. And I appreciated that effort.
And we haven't even talked about how great John C. Reilly and Steve Coogan are.
Jesus Christ, they're fucking brilliant.
You know, he sings that song at when they're in like the bar and their bit, and it's amazing.
Yeah. They got the bits down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
pat
beautiful.
Beautifully,
and the makeup's impressive.
Yeah. Also, the tour manager was pretty funny too.
Oh yeah,
like
the tour manager was great.
Like coming off as like a sincere guy, but also like a complete worm.
Yeah, he just cares
like
about the
guilting
money.
them into everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great if you could do it, but it's not a big deal if you don't.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't pay you to do it, but I mean,
but it would really help.
It makes me really appreciate what Coogan's been doing with comedies and whatnot. I've seen The Trip, and I really think The Trip's hilarious. But like, also, he did Philomena, the drama film that got him an Oscar nomination. I'm like, this guy really knows how to blend comedy and drama really well.
He's a great actor.
What was the name of the Robin Hood movie? Robin Good.
Robin Good.
Yeah. But yeah, and it pays homage to that period very well while not shoving nostalgia down your throat, I think.
And I love that they got in those crazy classical duo of Stan and Ollie.
Oh, yeah, they got the newsreel voice in there.
Loved it.
And also it was nice for them to show, for the majority of the end credits, the actual footage of them and giving you a sense of who they actually were. Like, I mean, like, this is a film that, like, I was very influenced by this film, like, walking out, like, since yesterday, like, thinking about it. I'm like, this film has, like, propelled a million ideas in my fucking head. So, like, I really am grateful for it existing. So,
yep, good job, guys.
Yeah.
Next week, I don't know.
The Lego Movie 2?
No, it doesn't come out till the following week.
Oh, we have to wait that long to talk about it?
Yeah.
I saw it already, so.
Yeah, I saw it too.
I mean, you guys can. I mean, I won't be able to see it.
The Upside?
Yeah, we can do The Upside.
We could do Stan and Ollie again.
Yeah, I'm down.
2 weeks in a row, the same episode.
The old-timey comedian movie was so great, we had to talk about it some more.
Yep.
I'd like to see what you guys think of The Upside, because that was my top 10, number 10.
That. Because, I mean, it's either that or Miss Bala.
Yeah. All right.
Whatever works.
Yep. And don't worry. February 8th, Cold Pursuit, Lego Movie 2, The Prodigy, What Men Want all come out. You think they'd move?
So February's covered for us. We spaced those out.
Well, no, because after that, it's actually I want to see Happy Death Day to You.
Yeah, I do too.
Because the first one's pretty fun.
I haven't seen the first one.
Neither have I, but I want to see Happy Death Day to You.
And then it's Alita after that, and then How to Train Your Dragon 3. I think we're going to be all right. And then I think after that it's Captain Marvel, right?
Is that the beginning of March?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Us after Captain Marvel.
Which my mom really wants to see. So
Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Awesome. She's
all on board the MCU after Infinity War. So I'm hoping they have one of those marathons so she can like watch Iron Man and everything leading up to it.
We have to sit through Tyler Perry's A Medea family funeral before Captain Marvel.
Shoot, wait, Medea's gonna go to the grave now?
That's the only thing that week?
Yep. We can see...
Did Tyler Perry run out of ideas, guys?
That's the first week of March?
That's the first week of
Maybe
March.
that's our first film explosion.
Yeah. That sounds like the first film explosion of the year.
But guys, I need to know why Medea died.
Nope.
Yes, I do.
Find out on your own time.
No. I want you all invested in this. All right. So until next week?
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.